Does organizing have you puzzled? Hi, I'm Susan Stewart with Perfectly Placed, where we'll put the organizing pieces together for you and your family. It's November, and what better time of the year to talk about menu planning than in the month where we plan the biggest meal of the year. Today I'm going to be helping you plan your Thanksgiving tips as well as your menu for all of next year. Now you may be saying to yourself, Susan, I don't know what I'm having for dinner tonight, let alone all of next year. And that's what I used to think until I figured this out. Let's start with Thanksgiving. If you're like me, your family has its family favorites and traditions, and you eat pretty much the same thing every year. About 8 years ago, I thought to myself, boy, it sure would be a lot smarter if instead of rewriting my menu and my grocery list every year, I used the same one each year. So here's how I do it. If you look closely, you can see my menu. I've listed our family favorites to make the Thanksgiving menu. After each recipe, I've also listed the page number and recipe book it can be found in. Below, I've got the ingredients listed for each menu item. If you'll notice, there are parentheses with letters listed after each ingredient. These correspond with the recipe, so you know what ingredients go with which recipe. So, for example, if you are going to your sister's this year for Thanksgiving and you only need to bring one item instead of the whole list of things, you know which ingredients to buy. The first step in making a menu for the year is to create a database to store your recipes on the computer. I'm using Bento, but if you don't have a Mac, you can use FileMaker or another database program. The idea of typing all your recipes into a database may seem daunting at first, but you don't have to do them all at once, and it really goes faster than you think. You can also go to websites like allrecipes.com and simply copy and paste the recipe into your database. There are a number of benefits to having a database. For one, you are collecting all of your favorite recipes into one location. One thing I did when I completed my database was printed them out to make my own cookbook. This makes it very simple for me to cook dinner because all of my recipes are in one book. It also allowed me to get rid of most of my cookbooks. Another benefit to having my recipe database is that recipes are easy to share with others. If someone asks you to give them a recipe, simply cut and paste into an email or print it out. Now that you've got your recipe database made, you will need a calendar program. I'm using iCal here. I usually choose to do 5 recipes in a week instead of 7 because I find that often we will have leftovers or go out to eat. So 5 recipes seems to be enough for a week for my family. So you can start here and double click. You're just going to type in the name of the recipe. You don't have to pick a time if you don't want to. I just put 6 p.m. on all of mine. And then there's this repeat function, which is key. You can do it every week, every month, every year, however you want it to repeat. I use the custom function and have it repeat on the first Monday of November every year. This way you're not only making a menu for this November, but it will just be repeating every year. Now I'm also going to use the notes section. I'm going to go back to my recipe. I'm just going to copy here. And now paste the ingredients into the notes section. I'm also going to add a little code here. AQC stands for Amy's Quick Chicken. Now I'm going to copy that and put it after each ingredient in this recipe. And I'll show you why I'm putting this code on a little later in the video. Now I'm ready to do the next one. And so forth. Now that I have my menu done, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make your grocery list from having the menu on the computer. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to copy that. And I'm just going to go into a program like Pages or another one and paste. And back to my menu. Click the next one. Copy. And paste, and so forth for the 5 recipes. Then print out your list and you've got everything you need to make those 5 recipes for the week. Now that you've made your menu on the computer, you're going to print it out and put it on your refrigerator. I've got mine right here in a page protector where I hang it up. You can see my menu items right here. Now what I've done here is simply copied and pasted from the computer the ingredients for each menu item and then printed it out in a list form. So now I have a list of everything I need to make the menu for this week's meals. I've used the same system here with the parentheses afterwards so I know which ingredients go with which recipe. Now hopefully after the last vidcast you have your refrigerator and your pantry and your kitchen all organized, so it's going to make it really easy to find out if you have the ingredients in the house already. So I'm going to show you how having that all organized is going to make it so simple. So for example, I've got oregano on my list, and I'm just going to check real quick up here, spin to oregano because I've got them alphabetized, and yes, I've got that in the house. So I'm going to cross this off with a highlighter. The reason I use the highlighter instead of a pen is because occasionally you'll make a mistake. You'll cross something off and you already have, or you really did need that item. And once you've crossed it off, it's kind of hard to read. So I use a highlighter instead. So I just go through my kitchen, highlight everything off that I already have in the house, and then I've got the list to go to the store. Now you might be wondering, what about those items that aren't part of a recipe that I need to get every week at the grocery store? Well, I've got a system for that too. Right here on my refrigerator I've got a magnetic list, and that's where I write down the things that we've run out of during the week. Do your kids ever say, "Hey Mom, we're out of jelly"? Or maybe they don't even tell you, but if they do, you can't expect to remember that all week and then just get it when you're at the grocery store. So I tell them, write it on the list. So I just take those things right off the list, add them to my list here, and then I'm ready to go to the store. Well, now I've taken you through the entire process of planning your menu, making your grocery list, and organizing your kitchen. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.